Last week we talked about standing for the gospel and how that's supposed to remind us that we are risen in Christ. And does anybody know what the word gospel means in Greek? Good news. Yeah, so you can remember that next time. Good news. Now, the atheist philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said he would believe in the Redeemer if the people, Christians, looked and lived a little bit more redeemed. And sometimes the challenge we have is that we profess that we are risen in Christ, but sometimes that doesn't transform us. And I want to share a little story about how that transformation of the gospel looks like. So once there was a young man, a very wealthy family, and his parents died. He was about 20 years old. He inherited all the wealth, and he had a younger sister. He's thinking about, well, how do I follow Christ with my own heart? He's thinking about that, and he feels that there's a longing for something more. He's thinking about the apostles, how they gave everything to follow Jesus. He goes to church one Sunday, and he hears the words, "If you want to be perfect, go, sell your possessions, give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven." And he heard these words as if it was Jesus himself speaking to him, speaking to his heart. So he went home, sold all of his inheritance, except for a little bit of reserve for his sister, and started to live very poorly. Next week, he goes to church, and he hears this gospel. "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has enough trouble as its own." So he decides to sell even what's left. He confides his younger sister to a convent, and he goes into the desert to follow Christ in a radical poverty. The good news is that that's not everybody's vocation, to live out into the desert. This man was St. Anthony, the founder of monasticism, but we're all called to be transformed by the gospel. We're all called to receive that good news from Christ, that he is our treasure, and to live accordingly. We're all called to let go of those things that get in the way of us being transformed, of living like redeemed, living like we're risen. So to focus on that one necessary thing, the most important relationship we have in the season of Lent,